Buenos Aires, amigos, amigas, from a suburb of Detroit in the basement of my home. And in this video, I'm going to give you tips on walking, tips that I've used, some of them I've used, and some that many other residents in the Lake Chapala area have used and still use. But I want to talk a little bit about the infrastructure of the towns in Lake Chapala and mention I love all the towns equally. I'm going to make maybe some comparisons, but you go down there for yourself and determine what town you think is best for you, what the best fit is for you. Also, I want to say I have explored thoroughly since I came to or went to the Lake Chapala area in 2019. I explored the towns, kept going, doing more exploring over the last 5.5 years. Have had this YouTube channel where I was making videos in the Lake Chapala area for 3.5 years, exploring the towns. And a lot of people watch the videos, and what they tell me is they come down from the States, and then I have a conversation with them, and they'll tell me, I love the videos, the walk videos, the drive videos, and the videos you've been putting out for the last few years because they show us the lay of the land. So check out the extensive backlog of videos. Now, if you do want to know something about the lay of the land, there is a guy who knows the towns really well. I cover both sides of the lake and up to Guadalajara in towns outside of the Lake Chapala area, but there is an exploration guy. He's a relocation expert. I'm trying to come up with the word. His name is Jim from JB's Big Adventure. He knows all the streets, or he knows all the neighborhoods and all the towns in the Lake Chapala area, and he knows them from going from Chapala all the way to and including Jocotepec. So he knows those towns pretty well too. He also knows about Guadalajara, and you could talk with him. Just send him an email, look at his videos. It's Jim from JB's Big Adventure YouTube channel, and he knows quite a bit. But I've been going also to Guadalajara, the other parts of Lake Chapala, and also on the south side of Lake Chapala. And I know the towns there quite well, and also know the towns going up through Guadalajara and the cities around Guadalajara, places like that, and some of the towns outside the Lake Chapala area. So I want to mention, please look at the videos. Now, with that being said, now there is two towns that I'm going to tell you where getting around is the easiest. And the two towns to get around easiest, walking would be, and even driving, would be Chapala and Jocotepec. Now, I love all the towns. I'm not favoring any towns. I'm just giving you some information based on my personal experience. And some other people would agree with me. Many other people would agree with me. Now, I'm going to get into Chapala because I think Chapala is easier to navigate, but I'll first start out with Jocotepec. Of course, you're going to see a lot of smooth streets. There, of course, you're going to find some with cobblestones, but you're going to find smooth streets. Some of the places, and I do point these out in the narrative when I'm making videos, there's handicapped accessible here, handicapped accessible on these corners, around the plaza, etc., Malecons, whatever it is that you might want to go. And I do that in all the towns. Now, I want to say that Chapala, though, is more handicapped accessible. From what I've seen in my experience, you're going to have handicapped accessible walkways and ramps there in Chapala, but you're going to have more, and you're going to have wider sidewalks in Chapala. That makes it easier to get around for people who have mobility issues. Say if you have scooters, I've done interviews with people who can't even walk. You know, they can just get on their cart, barely get on their cart, and cruise around in their cart, and they find Chapala is a great place to be because of the wider sidewalks and the handicapped accessibility ramps and walkways there that they can go on. But Chapala is a great town too. Now they're doing work on in all the towns, including Ajijic, Roberts del Pilar, and San Antonio Tlayacapan. Okay, but let me start up by saying that the expat havens that are considered expat havens or enclaves are Ajijic, and then going eastbound would be San Antonio Tlayacapan, and then the town next to that, Roberts del Pilar, and then of course Chapala. But if you're going westbound to like San Juan Cosala, El Chante, Chantepec, and Jocotepec, those aren't really considered expat enclaves. Most of the expats are going to the previous towns like Ajijic and eastbound, but and that's where most of them relocate, whether they're going there to be live there, retire there, going there as snowbirds, or going for visitors. Those are the towns. Not that the other towns aren't great. They are great, but it just seems that's the way it is. But you will meet expats who live in San Juan Cosala, Chantepec, and El Chante, and Jocotepec. I'm going to do another video on that. But when you're in those expat enclaves, there are ways to get around. You can get around on golf carts, and you want to be careful walking, but I'm going to give you some safety tips. But one way you can get around, and I've seen a lot of people get around on golf carts, especially in Ajijic. Golf carts in Ajijic, San Antonio Tlayacapan, Roberts del Pilar, and Chapala has some, but you're going to find a lot of golf carts in Ajijic because you can't drive them on the Carretera Highway. You can't use them on the bike paths, but if you want to get around, a lot of people like to go to Walmarts. So they'll be in Ajijic or West Ajijic. They'll find roads that run parallel to the Carretera Highway, the main highway, and although they have cobblestones, they'll ride their golf carts and they'll get around. So if you have mobility issues or different types of issues, balance issues, and you can get on a golf cart, get over to wherever you're going to go, to Walmart, Super Lake, whether you're going to small stores like Tienditas, Abarrotes, or those types of grocery stores, smaller ones, you can use your golf carts for that too. So I want to also say, if you have mobility issues and balance issues, say trouble with your balance, a lot of expats, and I've done videos about this too, showing people with hiking poles. They walk with hiking poles. That helps them out quite a bit. Helps them keep their balance. Also, there's different things you could do, like you want to be careful, like when you're walking. I wear thick, spongy type of tennis shoes, but a lot of people do, both Mexican residents and people who are foreigners who go down there, and that's good. I like them because when I do find a need or I have to walk on the cobblestones, what'll happen is they're good. They're very comfortable, but you can wear boots or whatever you want, but don't wear high heels, please. Women, of course, that's common sense, but a lot of people think, wow, if I go to a town, how am I going to wear my high-heeled shoes? It's just take them with you in your car. A lot of ladies do that. They'll take their shoes, high-heeled shoes in a car. They'll get to a place, say they're going to a cultural event, or say you're going out dancing and dining at Scallions or other places. You just pull up to where there's smoother pavement. You just put on your high heels, go in there and look good and enjoy yourself. Dine and dance and enjoy yourself. But, you know, it's important that you don't fall. You don't want to wear high-heeled shoes, especially where there's cobblestones or the infrastructure, the sidewalks might be cracked or bad or something like that. Also, if you want to get around, when I first got there years ago, I used to use my iPhone as a flashlight to look around because you're going to be in some places. You're going to find that they're going to be well lit in some of the places, but then there might be a period where you'll go a block or two and it might be dark. It'll just, the lights won't be reaching. The trees will be in the way, or you won't be able to see, and you want to have light. I use a flashlight. I used to use a flashlight in those cases. Carried one in my backpack or my pocket. Ladies, carry them in your purse, of course, backpack or pockets too. But use a flashlight. You can find flashlights that are even smaller than that. Those will be helpful because you want to see, especially when you get out. I know there's a stretch even in just in Ajijic and Central. It's really important you have a flashlight in other parts of, in other towns also. So carry a flashlight. Another thing you can do is get someone to walk with you, whether day or night. You're going out. If you have mobility issues or you have trouble walking or balance problems, get someone to go with you and hold on to somebody, until you get to a smoother part of pavement, and then you'll be able to navigate it yourself if you want. So go around with people. Don't go out alone. Be careful. I've seen a lady, she was elderly over in West Ajijic, and she was trying to navigate the cobblestones, and I stopped, I pulled over and asked her if she was okay. I was willing to drive her wherever she wanted to go, but she said she was fine, and she was just going to the store right there. But you want to be careful. Also, getting buses. Now, it depends on the degree of your mobility issue or whatever. You can use buses. If you find you can't use buses, you get a car. If you're waiting to get a car, I waited. I could have got a car a lot sooner than I did when I moved to the Lake Chapala area, but I would take buses, and buses were good for me. But if you're having trouble with balance issues, you might want to take the bus, try it out, or reconsider it and get a driver. So you get a taxi driver, use taxis, or what do they call them? There's certain private drivers. You could get a private driver. So you can do that, one of those two things. But also about the buses, if you can handle the buses, the Chapala buses run all over the lakeside area, and they're very efficient. They run every 15 minutes, and they're like really inexpensive. Also, you can take direct buses. If you get to one of the bus terminals, catch a direct bus. Say if you're in Ajijic or Chapala or Jocotepec, they have direct buses going there. They also have direct buses going all the way up to Guadalajara. And one of the good things about taking a direct bus is that you're not making all the stops that the local buses make. So you can get direct buses for really inexpensive. I remember, I used to take them a lot more before I got a car. And I think the last time it was 60 pesos, which was something like $3. So I don't know if the price is the same. If it has gone up, probably hasn't gone up that much at all. I still hear they're pretty inexpensive. So you can get around the Lake Chapala area, but be careful where you walk. Safety first, always. So do what you got to do to be safe and get around. I'll tell you, I had a mishap. I had a fall one time, and that was about almost 2 years ago. I've had a couple falls, and I survived them, but one fall, I fell on this hand, and I fractured a bone here, right here in the hand, and my hand started swelling up. I thought, Mom, I'm hoping it's only a sprain. I'll wait till tomorrow to see how it's doing, and it swelled up and it got pretty big. I drove all the way over to Chapala, went to the American Legion, was having breakfast, saw Louis. He's the head waiter there. I always go to him when I need help. I asked Lewis, I said, Lewis, my hand, I think I might have broke my thumb or broke a bone in my hand. And I said, it's painful, you know. He said, go over to the Red Cross. It's only 2 blocks away. And it was really close to and I knew that, but by talking with him, he convinced me to go over there. So I went there and I got really good treatment. I saw a doctor right away, of course, nurse, doctor, techs, people like that. Got an x-ray really quick, inexpensive. They called in another doctor that's a bone specialist from the Chapala area. He came in. He was only like 3 blocks away. His office was really close. He came over. He looked at the x-ray also, for a second opinion. And he says, yes, you have a fracture in the bone of your hand. You're going to need therapy. He looked at it, and then he said he referred me to a certain place. I went over to the Terranova Hospital in Guadalajara. I was just waiting. About a couple weeks later, it didn't seem to improve. So I went over to the Terranova Hospital, and I got some exercises to do, and it's gotten a lot better. So it's not as bad as I thought, doom and gloom. But anyways, I can still use my thumb today and my hand, and I got on the e-bikes recently, haven't had a problem, and those shaky e-bikes sometimes, and but the e-bikes aren't always shaky, but I went over some rough terrain. I like going on rough terrain also, but anyways, I can do things too. I can do other things with my hand and my thumb. So I'm real happy about that. But be careful, whatever you do, whether you're walking in the dark, whether you're walking in at nighttime. Also, I want to say there was a guy, when I lived in La Floresta, there was a guy, he had a light contraption. He had straps that would go over his head onto his head. And he let me use that one day. And that was not uncomfortable, but I didn't like the feeling of it. But also, I want to tell you about e-biking. This is a whole nother video. If you're going out on e-bikes, get a bike or a regular bike. Get a bike with a light. Very, very nice lady who's a subscriber to this channel saw me a couple of months ago, stopped me. We did a quick interview. She had to end the interview early, which was okay, but it was getting dark and she didn't have a light on that particular bike, so she had to get back. Get a light on your bike, and also get lights that go, flashing lights or whatever that go on in the back. But she is getting another type of bike. She did mention that one will have lights. So you want to be careful moving around and getting around no matter where you go. I'm going to say mostly it's just a great place. The Lake Chapala area is a great place. Now, I forgot to mention, even in the towns that aren't expat enclaves, towns like San Juan Cosala, El Chante, Chantepec, and Jocotepec, they are working on their roads too. They are smoothing some of the parts out. As a matter of fact, last year or this year, I was walking in San Juan Costa taking a walk to the lake, and I noticed that the road was paved, whereas before I went in the same area making a video. It was all rocky and hard to walk on, and they smoothed that road out, and they are smoothing out different parts of all the towns on the north side of Lake Chapala and even on the south side. I did a video also in Jocotepec where they're paving some new roads and things like that. So all the towns, visit them, find out what a good fit is for you and what you like. And I hope you enjoy yourself when you're down there. And thanks for viewing this lengthy video. And with that, tap on that notification bell. You'll be notified of upcoming videos. Hasta luego.